Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm Paul Jasson, your host. Thank you for joining us. We are downtown in this holiday season at Fairfield Federal, which is beautifully decorated. I think Shane will get a shot of the tree here as we are well into the Christmas season, of course. Back in November, the people spoke. A new mayor was to be elected, and again the people spoke and they decided that Don McDaniel would be elected. He was the deciding person in there, and he has now been elected mayor. And I'd like to introduce our mayor-elect to our friends here at Fairfield Today. Don McDaniel, mayor-elect. There's a nice ring to it.
Well, thank you, Paul. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was, as you know, I'm on city council. And so I've been involved in politics a little bit, but I really never envisioned I would be mayor of the city of Lancaster. And here I'm sitting here in about less than 30 days. I'll be in that position, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I think the folks around here, Mayor Scheffler, who we'll have on here in a couple weeks, kind of talk about his years in office, kind of a wrap up of his whole mayoral career. We'll be stepping down and moving on, and you'll be moving in, and golly, that's got to be a pretty exciting time. Every day the clock is ticking. As he's getting shorter, you're getting closer.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And I will say Mayor Scheffler has been very helpful, and we've had the ability to do a little bit of transition, and he's kept me informed of things that he's doing and things that I should know about. And he, even though he might be in Florida, he's going to be available for phone calls and advice, and looking forward to that help that he might be able to offer on occasion.
And I know he at times, especially when he was new, he would talk to Dave Smith, a former
Absolutely.
mayor. So I know you guys on different occasions, depending on what the social occasion is, if you're out together, sometimes conversations lead to different things.
They certainly do, and Dave Smith also is a friend and a mentor and an advisor on occasion.
He's kind of been your track, city council.
Yeah, he did encourage me to, seek public office to some extent,
Sure.
And I kind of spoke with him when the thought process of what should I do? Do I want to do this? And he was very encouraging.
I heard he and Dave Uhl, who is president of city council, also had a hand in that.
Yeah, I think there was some discussion that Dave Scheffler might not be running for re-election, and some thought of who might be interested, and apparently at some point my name came up, and over time I was asked to consider it. Dave Smith asked me to consider it, others asked me to consider it, and so I have considered it, and here I am.
And here we are in less than a month. We'll take the elect off.
Yeah, I think being a police chief at the city of Lancaster, a department head running a large organization, I think that's going to be helpful, I think.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your background here. You're a local boy?
I am born and raised in Lancaster.
Graduated from LHS?
Yes, 1980.
1980. Who was the principal then? Do you remember?
Jerry Woodard was out there. Mr. Barr was assistant principal. I forget who the principal was.
Well, maybe that's good.
I didn't have to see his office.
I was going to say, maybe that's the reason you don't know who the principal was. That's great. So you get out of high school around 1980 and then straight into the Marine Corps?
Yeah, I left. I think I had, I actually had about a 3-week break between high school and Marine Corps boot camp. So.
Wow. Did you join on that delay program that so many do?
I was on the delayed entry program, and we actually had 7 individuals from Fairfield County go to boot camp together, and we were all in the same boot camp platoon.
And where were you? Paris Island?
We were at Paris Island.
It can be warm down there. I've been in Buford, which is next door down there, and if it's hot there, it's hot for you boys.
Absolutely.
So you get out of 4 years?
I did 4 years in the Marine Corps.
Okay,
yes.
You get out of the what were you in? I don't think you were an MP.
No, I was aviation support. So I was actually stationed in Orange County, California. It was a great duty assignment. I was on John Wayne International Airport at a place called Marine Corps Air Station Tustin. Very small duty station, but I enjoyed every minute of it.
Good. So you get out of the Marine Corps, you come back, and now you're probably like most military people getting back now. What do I want to do? My life's in front of me now. All this other stuff is behind you, and now you have to make a decision on what you're going to do, and you move on.
Yeah, so I got out of the Marine Corps, and of course you come home, and there's some time between leaving the Marine Corps and getting a job, and back, and they still have programs today to help veterans get a job. And I was able to find my first job out of the Marine Corps was Sunoco Products Company, which is a paper mill that used to be on South Memorial.
Right on the curb right there.
And it was a good job, and it was, but it's factory work, and I'm just got married. I'm starting a family, and I'm thinking that I don't know if I want to be on a rotating shift type basis for indefinite future. And believe it or not, the Eagle Gazette, reading the Eagle Gazette, I see an ad. Lancaster Police Department is looking for police officers, and civil service exam is forthcoming. I took the exam and I finished second on the exam, and the rest is history, I guess. I was hired. Hiring process is long, and it's a difficult background process, but I was hired, and about a year, it wasn't quite a year later, and went to the Highway Patrol Academy.
Now, when you took your civil service test to be on the Lancaster Police Department, how many people took that test?
A significant number. We were at the American Legion in the basement, and every spot was full. It was a few hundred people.
And you've been around long enough, especially, we'll get to the police chief, but it's far different now.
Yes.
The numbers.
When I was chief, the numbers were down in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And we're competing against every community in Ohio for police officers. Police officers don't necessarily become police officers in their home community. You might have people from Cleveland taking our test, or people from out of state taking our test. Mm-hmm. And it's a competitive field, and not as many people are aspiring to be police officers in the climate we currently have.
So you pass the test, you become a Lancaster Police Department just patrolman, I guess, is the entry position.
Yep.
You're driving a cruiser around, or in a cruiser?
Absolutely, yeah.
Were there two of you in a cruiser back then?
You start with a training officer called a field training officer. We often refer to it as a coach, and you're with that coach until typically 6 months or so, until they feel that you're ready to go out on your own and do solo patrol.
So you move up the ranks, eventually you take the test and you become the police chief.
Yes, it's police department offers great opportunities for young people, and I was able to be a chief of detectives, which so you run the detective bureau. I was a deputy chief for several years, and then I took the promotional process. It's a little different. It's an assessment center, and then outside individuals from the Ohio Association of Police Chiefs score you and rate you, and then that information is given to the city, and the city evaluates that information, and ultimately promotions are made, and that's how you become chief.
Speaking with Don McDaniel, Don is the elect mayor of Lancaster. He'll begin here in just a few weeks, take over January 1, and we're kind of going through the background now of the chief getting through it. So you move up through the ranks, you become the chief, and eventually you go, how many years were you the chief till you retired?
Just shy of 3 years.
Okay, and that seems to be how it was for a long time, because everybody seemed to have a military background. I think of a lot of chiefs that we've had, they come through the ranks, they become chief, and then not very long, because of it's helped them to be in the military, and you get a little credit for that, and eventually you're done.
Yes, actually most of the military people, what they call purchase their military credit. It allows them to move through the pension process quicker.
Sure.
Ultimately, the pension system has a program that you kind of time out on.
Okay, so now you've retired. We'll fast forward through this. You just weren't satisfied, your public service career wasn't enough for you, and that you have to get into city council?
So Mike Fracassa,
Yep.
second ward councilman, was leaving. I actually called David Old and I said, hey, what do you think? And he says, yeah, you can look at it, consider it. And so there were three people competing for that position, and it's an appointed position until the next election. So I went to the Republican Central Committee and was ultimately appointed to second ward to fill Mike's spot. And then I ran for election at large and was elected.
at large.
and then subsequently ran a second time for at large and was reelected.
So you've been on the, 5-6 years?
Just over 5 years.
5 years. So moving out of that, you decide you're going to become the, it's not enough. You talk to Dave Uhl, talk to Dave Smith, lots of other people encourage you to do it. Now you're the mayor-elect. As you look at that, come January, your turn, got any big sweeping changes you can talk about?
No, I'm a believer that when you assume a new role, I think you come in and look at what's working. Certainly I think people have ideas what they might be interested in looking at, when they might change, but I think before change is made, I think you need to make sure that things aren't already functioning well and that maybe a change might not be as needed as you think it might be. So I look at the city of Lancaster is operating very well, and I think Dave Scheffler and Dave Smith before him and others have done a really good job with the city and the city government. The employees at the city are, in my opinion, top notch.
Yeah.
So the first part of the process would be see what's working, get input. There might be things that need to be looked at, but overall, I think the city's done a great job.
Probably being the police chief and then city council, you pretty much got a handle on a lot of things, on how things run. You don't have to at least get up to speed on a lot of that.
Yeah, I think huge benefit in working within the city, understanding collective bargaining agreements, understanding how the city operates financially and otherwise, and then knowing the players, the people involved, and having relationships with them. I think certainly a person can come in and be mayor of the city without that, but I think it would be a huge burden to get familiar with processes and the way things are done.
Well, our guest has been the mayor-elect of Lancaster, former police chief Don McDaniel, and we've sort of gone through the history of this to get him up to speed, but we're going to have you on a lot, as we've had Dave Scheffler. He's been just a great mayor for us on Fairfield Today. We've had him on frequently, always willing to come on and talk about things. Always the streets come up. You know how that is. You'll talk about the streets enough, but we'll have you back on as we move on here after January, and you're in the office, and we'll get some updates and big projects. We're looking forward to a great run by you, Mayor McDaniel, on the Lancaster side.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Mayor-elect Don McDaniel, soon to be mayor come January. We'll be back on Fairfield Today in just a moment.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference. Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
The staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Fairfield County has so many wonderful resources for those in addiction with mental health issues. There's so many great court supports to promote accountability so that there's just a positive change across the board. There's so many great interactions within all the community agencies. The Adam H. Board is wonderful at providing resources for the whole population to be able to make sure that all those barriers are met and that those needs are taken care of.
I like working in Fairfield County because it provides me the opportunity to make positive change where I live. Fairfield County has a great network for veterans to help. It makes me proud that we know we take care of our veterans here.
I'm kind of new to it. I've been here for about a year, but it's interesting because you get a little bit of everything. We're right here smack in between the big city of Columbus and Appalachia. So you get to work with all kinds of people, get to do all kinds of things. But my favorite thing about Fairfield County is the people. They are passionate, they are fun, they are engaged, and it's a great place to work.
community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
I want a doctor who listens to me.
From primary care to specialty medicine, we put your needs first by treating you like a person, not a number. Our primary care team will help you identify your healthcare needs and set goals for success, regardless of where you are in your wellness journey. We care for patients of all ages, with offices that are close to you. Whatever you're searching for, you can find it at Fairfield Medical Center.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. Appreciate you being with us, and we appreciate Mayor-elect Don McDaniel being with us on our first interview. We've had a chance to get him on. It was great to have him on. We'll get him more as we get into 2024. We'll watch how his running of the city goes. We're looking forward to that. We are really on top of the Christmas season here. We're in the lobby downtown of Fairfield Federal, and it's beautifully decorated. We're so glad to be here. And again, we know Shane's getting shots of this, and he'll put it in the show and show it around. Over the years, it's been a pleasure to have on folks that talk about big brothers and big sisters, and today will be no different than that. Got a couple of guests today. To my immediate right is Jolyn Pugh, Executive Director of Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and then to her right, my far right, Janie Nicolia, who is the President of the Big Book Nook.
Yes.
Whatever that. No, I guess I know what the Big Book. I know a little bit about it, so we're going to talk about that. But boy, I guess since we've had you on, Jolyn, you're in a new location now. A pretty exciting time. You've moved from Connection West. You've stayed. Well, I guess you maybe moved half a dozen blocks away, not very far. You're down in the hallowed grounds of General Sherman down there, where the Parks Department had that. They've repurposed it, and you have a great location in there now.
We do. We have been so busy. So since Community Care Day, which was September 13th, we moved an entire bookstore into the old General Sherman location. We moved our offices. We took out lockers. We built cabinets. We painted everything. We cleaned everything 7 times. It has
sat there empty quite a while.
It did. Yeah. So it needed a little bit, and once you paint, things get a little messy. Once you're building cabinets, things get a little messy. So we've made some messes that we've also had to clean up, but it looks phenomenal.
Really?
It is so exciting. The color scheme, is gray and black, and everyone, including Janie, thought I was crazy when I said that I was going to do that. But it looks amazing. It does not look like you're in an old school anymore. It really looks like it's what we needed to have.
So again, I was a student down there at General Sherman. So if you tell me where you are in the school now, I would know. Where in the school, where are you?
So we have both the second and first floor of the educational side. So
you got that little glassed-in hall right there. Yeah. You're in the educational wing, and then all that is yours?
That is all
That's
ours.
A huge area.
It is a huge area. About 24,000 square feet to be exact.
Sure.
So we went, when I started at the agency, we had 883 square feet. And now we are at 24,000, which is just remarkable. And it was one of those things where from day one, from my interview, I said, we need a center that we can have kids coming in all the time. We need to have a location where everyone can see us. And it was really exciting to be able to finally get there. It took me a little bit of time, 2017 to today, but we finally have the location we've been wanting.
Now, I know the term mentoring center comes up. Is that what you think of this as?
It is. And, we have a STEAM room that is not what you might think, but it's science, technology, engineering, art, and mentoring, because we decided we're not going to do math in the center. And so we have a room where matches, littles, families can come in and create and learn and experience connections. We also have a game room, a movie room, a costume room, because we do like to dress up at Big Brothers Big Sisters. So we do have that, but we have a training room. So now we have a location that has rooms with specific purposes where we can have kids in different rooms based on the age of the kids. So we're really excited about this opportunity, and we've already had matches coming in and kids coming in, so it has just been amazing to see their reaction to the space.
Well, and one of the things we want to talk about here is one of the things that's created kind of a buzz here, and you talked about moving the books in there, is this Big Book Nook, which Janie Nicolia here is the head of. And is that just a whole section of your building there?
It is. So the first floor, the entire front side, like facing Fifth Avenue, is going to be the Big Book Nook.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You got a lot of room there, Janie.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, sure. And so is it like a library? Do people check things out, or can just people come in here and sit and read?
It is a bookstore.
Oh,
so
okay.
it is a new and gently used bookstore.
Oh, you can buy.
Yes, you can buy.
Okay.
Books are extremely reasonable at $2 and $1. And we have puzzles, books, DVDs, movies, CDs.
Ooh.
So it has quite a bit. And we were grateful for the Fairfield Foundation. They gave us a grant to be able to open up some walls. So the Book Nook is right now in 2 classrooms, and it eventually will be in the entire front. So we're really excited about that. And the members of the Big Book Nook, we've had 4 or 5 new members join since they have moved in with us.
And what advantage is it to join?
To join, you basically give us a ton of your time.
Okay.
No, it's volunteering to work the bookstore
and
come in and help keep things organized and work the store. But we start taking credit cards now, and that's been
That's a big deal.
Yes. Been very exciting. And we're getting donations every day. We get people coming in every day since we've moved there. And so it's been really exciting. They can donate
books or CDs or DVDs, any of that? Yeah. What hours are you open down there?
We're open Wednesday through Friday from 10 until 6, and then on Saturday 10 until 4.
Okay, good hours there. People can come in anytime. And again, you got it broken down into sections down there about, like, say, drama or thrillers or things like that. Do you have it?
Yes, we do.
Just be a lot like the library would be set up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, is this what used to be at the hospital?
It is.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
It is. And so, they were looking for a new location and a new nonprofit.
Bigger to expand, probably.
Yep. And so they met with several nonprofits in town, and they selected Big Brothers Big Sisters to be their new nonprofit. So 100% of the money that they raise comes to Big Brothers Big Sisters for Injured.
That's a big take. Now, is that this? I've heard the term, and you've used it several times. Not here today, but social enterprise.
It is a social enterprise.
And what exactly is that?
So a social enterprise is where a nonprofit or a store will raise money for the sole purpose of helping a nonprofit. And so I think many people understand that the Restore for Habitat for Humanity, that's a social enterprise.
Okay.
The Art and Clay on Main, that is a social enterprise.
Okay.
And so we now have our own social enterprise with books, which is fabulous because we're opening up literacy to our littles. Our bigs and littles can volunteer there and spend time in the bookstore. Our littles love it. We have a couple littles that Janie and her group gave all the littles a bookmark that allows them to get free books every time they're in the store. They get a free book.
What a cool thing.
It is. And one of the littles and I are reading a book together, and she will only read with me. And so she reads a page, I read a page. It's going to take forever to find out what happens to the kitten, but we eventually will figure it out.
You'll get there.
We only read about once or twice a month together, but she came in and got to pick her own book, which is really awesome. When money is tight and things, you can't always, afford to buy books. Books can be very expensive. And so at the Book Nook, we have kept the prices very cheap so that anyone has the ability to go in. And so we're really excited about
So it wouldn't be the price that you would see in a normal bookstore.
Right.
And again, the profits that come from Janie's endeavors there, any other people on the staff, they go to benefit Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Nice to have that.
It is very nice, and as everyone knows, we constantly are asking for help, and and money and things to do the things we do. And this is going to hopefully relieve some of the pressure that we have on us, to be able to serve more kids.
And we've only got about a minute left here, so we've got to get through that. But I want to talk about this is Defend December.
Defend December. So Defend December is where we are trying to get 100 people to give us $100. And that money will go toward match support. So it will be tickets for things when matches need it, activities for the Mentor Center to be able to get matches to do things together. And so the goal is that match enrichment piece.
So online you can find that application to do that?
You can, and we have there'll be tons of stuff on social media that everyone can join. And as people donate, we're going to post their names so that we can publicly thank them for being a defender of potential.
Well, it sounds like a good project here. Good way to end up the year.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Janie Nicolia has been with us. She's the president of the Big Book Nook at Big Brother Big Sisters. Jolyn, who is the executive director. Exciting time. Happy holidays to both of you.
You as well.
Have a nice one.
too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.